All right, we are back, guys. We are back. All right. Hope you guys are doing well today. How are you guys doing? Um, yeah, I mean, I wasn't really planning on making this video, if anything, but due to popular demand and I guess me figuring out a few extra things here and there, I decided that maybe it's time to actually give you guys some updates on this champ Nasus. And yeah, uh, for those of you that watch my stream, for the past 3 years I've been playing Nasus mid. So I've created Nasus mid back in very early season 11, and for most Qmax Nasus players nowadays, this is kind of the go-to route for you to play, which is to play Nasus mid. And it's a much safer link for Qmax. It's a much more consistent link if you want to just stack your farm, without having to worry about the very basic stuff like getting tower dove and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, I've been 3 seasons 900 LP playing Nasus mid, and you can usually find me streaming it too. Not all my games, but a lot of my games I usually stream, and you can probably go onto some other streamers stream and see me play with them and stuff like that. So all that is very cool. But here's the thing, I've figured out a very unique way of approaching the game with Nasus, and it's through Nasus top, and it's precisely because of this that I wanted to make this video. So this is gonna be a one-shot video. I'm probably not gonna be editing it too much. I'm not very good at editing videos, stuff like that, but I figured out the sound quality and stuff. It should sound pretty good. I'm recording using Streamlabs OBS, if you guys are wondering what I'm using. And let's get into it. Yeah, so I'm sorry for this long, just I guess, time not doing YouTube and stuff like that, and I honestly don't know if I will come back to it after this video, but I just wanted to I guess upload this up here so that you guys can actually understand what is going on with how I'm approaching the game right now. So this is actually going to be very new stuff, and I would say that if you guys are able to do what I say in this video, it's gonna be so easy for you to climb with Nasus. By the way, it's gonna be so easy for you to climb with Nasus, and it's gonna be quite a long video, so grab some water if you guys need, and pause the video, grab some water, and by the end of it, if you guys goes through with this video, by the end of it, I will promise you that you will come out much more knowledgeable than you were before. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, let's get into it here. Actually, I'm gonna have a Google Docs here right now and show you guys what's going on. So the reason why I figured this this out is because Qmax is pretty much dead right now. So Nasus didn't get a nerf directly, right? He didn't receive a direct nerf, but the problem is that he has been indirectly nerfed multiple times throughout the season already, and stuff like D shield nerf, sustain nerf, triumph nerf, and all that stuff. So obviously this page right here that you see is the most popular tree, the popular rune page, and this is basically my build. Like, you have the lethal tempo kind of going on, and then you have the resolve and unflinching. You have double tenacity here, and then you just try to farm, right? You just try to farm and stuff like that. But the problem is that the meta is extremely punishing for Nasus top. Like, it's extremely punishing for Nasus top. Even if you're playing in like lower elo, such as like plat or low diamond, you will sometimes come across games where you literally just can't play the game, and that's a combination of just top lane meta overall and just players being better. Players are constantly evolving and getting better every single season. So You know, season 13 diamond is probably way better than a season 2 or 3 challenger, right? That's just how it is. Like the game has evolved to this point where every rank is just fundamentally better than you know, in the past. So how do we actually play Nasus in season 13? So we have to understand the meta right now. So before we get into like anything Nasus related, we have to understand the meta. So what is the meta right now? The meta in season 13 is basically just an ADC meta. ADC is by far the strongest role in the game. It's the strongest champion in the game as well. Like most of the games in high elo, you will just basically see it's just ADC basically in after mid and late game. It's just ADC. Like everything else basically doesn't matter that much. So the problem with Qmax Nasus is you know, we're just gonna write down here. Meta is ADC meta, and the problems. Problems with Qmax, very you know, very obvious problems here that we have is takes too long to skill. You know, so usually if you're playing Nasus and you're gonna max Q, then you want to make sure that maxing Q actually is worth it, you know? So you're gonna make yourself the carry, basically. So you're gonna make yourself the carry of the game and then carry the game through your high amount of stacks. Now, it doesn't really work in the season because Nasus isn't even a late game champ anymore. Like, it doesn't really matter if you have, you know, 1k stacks at 30 minutes or some, you know, more than that. It doesn't really matter when the ADC just 2-shots you or 3-shots you in the late game. So this build is actually just very dead. Like, if you aren't making yourself the protagonist of the game, then there's actually just no point maxing Q. So basically the idea is that you just want to protect the ADC. That's all you have to do. And that's why, you know, so that's why we came up with the idea of utility Nasus. So what does utility Nasus mean? So for those of you guys that don't understand, I will actually just go ahead and explain it right now. So there is a concept of strong side and weak side in the game. And most high elo games will come down to where the jungler is gonna path. So some games your jungle's gonna pass top, some games they're gonna pass bot. But the meta heavily favors your jungle to pass bot, and the game is basically determined off whichever jungle is going bot. I would say that weak side top right now is very good. Like you wanna be getting ganked by the enemy jungle, basically is what I mean. So the ideas of weak side is that you just have to play safe. You just have to make sure that you're not completely out of the game by the end of laning phase, and that basically provides your team, you know, it makes space for your team to actually carry the game. It makes space for your team to do stuff on the map, because if you're constantly soaking the enemy's attention in the top side, then that is considered winning. So that's a strong side, weak side concept right here. Okay, so how do you play weak side Nasus? That's the thing. You're obviously not gonna be maxing Q. Maxing Q in a weak side is just completely dead. So the way that Nasus mains always played it in the past is Ghost Flash, right? Ghost Flash since season 9 has been basically the staple of like all Nasus mains, like including me. You want to take Ghost Flash, you know, doesn't really matter if you're top or mid, you take Ghost Flash and then you just farm it up and then you try to 1v9. That's a very simple explanation for it. But the problem is if you get dove, right, like at levels 3 or some stuff or something like that, like you're gonna be pushed in basically. Nasus is a lot weaker if you're gonna be maxing Q in the early stages, so you're gonna be shoved in, and if the enemy jungle is good, they will just dive you, and there's actually no counterplay to that, right? So what I'm proposing here is that you guys just don't look at Nasus through the eyes of an OTP, but look at the game. Like just you have to play the game as a top laner now. It's a little different because Nasus, Qmax Nasus is very different from a normal top laner. You don't actually have to. I guess it develops it develops bad habits in you playing Qmax Nasus top, because it gives you the idea that you can just farm up and then run people down in certain timers and it won't really matter. You're not really taking into account wave state. You're not taking into account like anything else. You're really just trying to get level 6 as safely as possible and running your enemy down. You can kind of see the same problems in champs like Darius, champs like Olaf. It's kind of the same stuff where players can actually get relatively high elo, but they are unable to actually understand the game. So when it actually comes to a real game where you're in a game with 9 other challenger players, right, and then you're kind of the underdog of the lobby, and then you're just kind of just like completely clueless, right? Because the enemy top laner is going to be playing the game on such a higher level than you, because they simply understand the game much better than you do. And that's the biggest problem. So if you want to have the most consistency, and at the same time, so if you want to climb in league, like rank games, right, seriously, and you want to get high elo in solo queue, the best way to do so is by emaxing. This is the most consistent way where it's actually not luck based, where you don't actually have to rely on a team. Like you can actually just carry almost every single game. Like there are going to be matchups that you just have like no business playing no matter what you do. Like I will explain that later, but Emax Nasus, the new Emax Nasus, the way that I do it ensures that you can actually win weak side consistently, while in a 1v2 situation. So this is kind of what I actually figured out in the last 2 weeks of playing this game. I kind of just like changed everything up. We're doing a lot of testing, and I had a 64% win rate to like 800 LP, and I was playing in 1K lobbies with pro players like almost every game, and I was consistently able to do relatively well with Nasus top in this meta too. Which is pretty unthinkable, in the past, because you're only really allowed to beat players that are worse than you. If someone's actually like, if someone's like a pro player and they actually understand the game, then you don't really have a good way of dealing with that at all. So the new TP Ghost Nasus that I've been doing is basically just a pressure soaker, and you just play weak side. My match history doesn't look very good right now, but and I lost a lot of LP actually. I dropped like 250 LP because I was tilted yesterday, but I was sitting at 800 like 2 days ago. And yeah, I will show you guys a few games actually, so you guys can understand like what I'm kind of talking about right here. But just understand that you have to play the game through meta. So you're forcing yourself to be weak side, basically. You have to get into your head like the weak side concept of just of surviving, pretty much. Like you just have to like, if I have to do a TLDR, this is basically what I would say. You just need to weak side and just survive and don't be completely useless. If you can do this consistently every single game against whatever matchup that you end up against, you can easily, all right, I'm saying like very easily get to like high masters, I would say. So like 400 500 LP, like no problem. You can just do weak side every single game. You can actually just go into the game, right, and then just tell your jungle to start top side, and then have them pass bot, and then you just play a certain way that ensures that you don't just like completely ink the game. So usually the problems in the past is it's very hard to weak side Nasus, because if you weak side Nasus, like if the jungler is not top side to defend the tower dive on levels 3, then Nasus basically just loses the ability to play the game. Ghost Flash Nasus basically forces your jungle to give attention top, which is extremely bad in this meta. You don't want your jungle to give any attention top. Like, if anything, in the current meta, I want my jungle to pass bot. I want him to go bot every single game. I want to make sure that I can just, you know, play the game from behind, basically. Like, you don't want him to be top. The thing is, like, even if he's top, like, you know, 9 times out of 10, if your jungle's top, then the enemy jungle's gonna be bot. So then you have a losing bot side. You have a winning top side, maybe, but you know, or you have an even top side, you know, worst of all, because Nasus early doesn't really do much. You can't really, like, even if you're ganking, it doesn't do that much. So, you know, the worst thing that can possibly happen is you're gonna be even top and you have a losing bot side because the enemy jungle is giving attention bot and actually ganking bot. That's kind of the vertical jungle concept. But yeah, we will get into a game right here. I will show you guys what's it called? I'll show you guys a game so you guys can kind of understand what I've been doing. And yeah, we'll just get into it real quick. So this is a pretty high elo lobby. This is a high grandmaster lobby, like low challenger high grandmaster lobby. And as you guys can see, I'm against Young Fappy here, the best Teemo on the server. He's really good, consistently high LP challenger playing Teemo. And if you look at our comp, we have, you know, our comp is relatively good. Besides my matchup, like so the thing is, like, we lose this game through top, pretty much. Like, if I can't stabilize this game, we lose. So my job in a game like this is to just stabilize. If you look at the mid lane matchup here, we have a Kali versus Victor, which means Victor will have perma prio. If he's not like completely ass, you know, he will get prio. This guy's a Victor. He's a high elo Victor one trick, so he knows what he's doing. He's always gonna have prio against a Kali. So the idea is that we just sack top and then have jungle camp bot in this matchup right here. Like, they're playing Jinx and Braum, which is a pretty defensive countermeasure to Lucian Senna. So we really just give attention bot, like have at least pass bot and then dive bot, and then we'll just win through that, right? Pretty simple stuff. And it's actually very important, like level 1 to 5 point. So you need to just, like, you can't AFK level 1, right? Like AFK level 1 is really bad. You don't want to AFK level 1. You want to always like check entrances and stuff like that, you know. Have your bot side be like here, have your bot side be like here, and then, you know, jungle and top should just be guarding, you know, the entrances so that they don't just, like, you know, sometimes they like to invade and then the game gets messed up if they just like successfully walk into your jungle without any fog, and then, you know. And the problem with that is that they are playing a much stronger early level 1 champs, right? Like, we can't fight them off. So here is the, so I use E here to check, you know. I took Airy here. I actually took Airy this game. I took Airy, so I'm just checking to see if, like, they're sitting in there. If the Airy hits and, you know, it returns to me, then it means that they're actually in here. I don't actually want to go and face check this right here, just because, you know, as you can see, like, obviously not knowing that this is happening, that, like, they are actually just in the top lane right now. And they often do this when top laner doesn't have flash. I'm opting into the TP ghost here, so obviously, you know, you don't have the flash level 1, which means, like, if you get caught level 1, then you're kind of just dead. I want to make sure to play really safe. So here I tell my Elise that they might mess with her red. So sometimes what happens is that, like, level 1, you know, it's a very high chance that he understands that this is weak side, right? Like, he understands that Elise is gonna weak side me. Any high elo player would understand that Nasus will be weak side top. So what they tend to do is, like, they're just gonna walk over and then they're gonna check this bush right here when we're doing red, and he's gonna, like, mess with us. And this actually really aids, you know, like, especially if they're playing stuff like Olaf, Jax, Teemo, Warwick, you know, very strong level 1 champs with Ignite. They can kind of just, like, zone you off your own buff, and that just, like, messes your jungle completely, right? So I suggested to my jungle to just do Raptors here, because it's much safer to do Raptors. Usually the top laner doesn't like to check Raptors. Like, they don't really like to mess with Raptors. They would just, like, walk over here and to check the red buff, and, you know, if jungle's not there, then they kind of just go back to laning. So I suggested that he starts Raptors, and I told him that I'm just gonna leash anyway, because, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, if I go to lane early, it doesn't do anything for me, so I might as well leash here for my jungle. Yeah, so I'm spam pinging here. We have a ward right here. It's pretty safe. And I eat the raptor for him, so he has little better clear. And you know, I make sure to walk around. Obviously, like you don't want to just like, you don't want to take the shortcut here and then walk through here. Like if I took the shortcut and then I walked through the tri bush, I would have gotten absolutely demolished. I would basically fundamentally lose the game off level 1. So I took this pass right here around, safest pass possible. And here laning phase starts. So a good top laner, what they tend to do is like they want to zone Nasus off the first 3 melee creeps, especially if I leash. If I leash, it means that I'm not walking with the wave, which means it's very easy for them to actually zone me off the first 3 CS of XP. So I don't actually care about getting this farm right here. Like this is irrelevant for me. I don't really care about getting this farm. This farm can just go to waste. Like this gold doesn't matter. Like your job as Nasus early is to soak as much XP as humanly possible if you're in the top lane against a good player in a bad matchup. So I actually eat here anyway. So I think I got most of the XP. I think I maybe missed 1 here. No, I got it too. So I didn't miss any XP level 1, which is really, really good. But usually, you know, more times than not, you will be zoned off the first 3 melees if you leash. Like this is the correct way to play against Nasus. Like this is really just like the only way you should be playing against Nasus, and you won't be seeing this in lower elos. Like top laners don't understand that you can literally just walk up into Nasus level 1 and zone them off. Like I literally cannot do anything. Like if you're playing a champ that's much stronger than me level 1, you can just do this every single time, and I won't be able to do anything. So you know, I'm basically forced to just like chill here. So it's actually a heist that I got the first 3 melees of XP, but even if you don't, it's not a big deal. Like just make sure that you stay relatively high HP and just don't be a problem. So right here I'm simply just harassing him right here. So because he hit me level 1 first, it means the wave is gonna push back into me. It's gonna push into me, which is what I want. Obviously I don't want to push into him, especially when I'm playing weak side, right? It doesn't make any sense for me to do that, especially since Lee Sin is actually passing for top, which is fundamentally what I want. So everything in this game that's happening right now is going in the way I want it to go. So which is like Lee Sin starts red and he's gonna pass top for Teemo. I let the wave pushing, and then we just let Elise do his job bot side, her job bot side, and then I basically sack everything and just try not to die. That is the idea here. So it's really good that the wave's pushing into me. I'm simply just dropping E's on him. I don't really want to do anything else. I walk back here. Obviously, don't let him proc. You know, don't let him proc. What's it called? Press the attack. Does a lot of damage. You know, we're playing with a lot of respect here. But yeah, like I said, so you know, even if Lee Sin like 3 camps top right here, like if he does this into wolves, into, you know, this into raptors, into blue, and come top, like even if I die here, right, even if I die here, it's not that big of a deal because I have TP, so I'll just TP back. It's really not, it's not the end of the world, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like it's fine, right? So everything's going accordingly. We have bot lane shoved, which means this is really good. This will allow Elise to just kind of, you know, look for an angle bot side. He's passing bot. Mid is getting pushed in, obviously. So everything's basically going according to plan. This is like best case scenario for us right here. We're playing the game properly. Everybody is doing their job correctly. I actually don't even need to have a pointing Q here. I can just take a pointing W because it's not like I'm capable of walking up here without getting like giga chunked. So we're really just playing for E here. But as you can see, like I've put him pretty low just by spamming E on him. So like it just gives him a harder time to dive me, right? Like, you know, as opposed to if I was maxing Q and then this guy will be full HP, then it would just be much more free for them to dive me because I'll just be like, you know, I'll be around the same amount of HP, or if not less, because I'm constantly walking up for Qs. This is kind of just the only way to play it in this matchup. I think I missed a cannon here, actually. I forgot, but yeah, I did. But yeah, I mean, it's alright. you know, you're gonna be down some CS. He's actually only 11 farm here, so I'm actually up CS in the first 3 waves, which is really good. He missed quite a bit, that's on him, but as you can see, I am constantly just like, you know, I'm giving him a hard time right here. So this is actually really good. As you can see, he's actually gonna take a base here. And this is a really bad position for Teemo here. Like, this is literally what I want. Because you can see the bot plays already happened. Like, they already lost bot lane, basically. They already lost bot lane, and then they didn't get anything top. Like, I'm actually in a hard winning position right here. And they are hard losing bot, because at least one bot, right? Well, it's also kind of Lee Sin's fault for full clearing, but I don't think they can dive me here anyway. Like Teemo was really low. So he takes it back without TP, which means he's gonna have to walk all the way back, and I'm not gonna shove this, obviously. I'm gonna just freeze it. You know, I'm just gonna sit here and then last hit, pretty much. I right now I literally don't care about farming. Like, as you can see, I have 9 stacks. It doesn't matter at all. He's actually put in a very bad spot. As you can see, like, this is hard winning for us. We already up 1k gold here. So Lee kills Elise in the jungle here, but it's fine. So obviously, if he walks back to lane here, I cannot hold him any longer. But he's already missed like a wave worth of XP here, right? It's really good for me. Like, I'm up a lot of CS against Teemo. It's really good. And the thing is, like, you know, as opposed to the Ghost Flash technology, I have TP Goats here, which means I can actually just TP back. Like, I'm in a really safe spot here. I'm just basing here. Like, it doesn't really matter here. He's gonna push the waving, and I'm gonna take my reset. He actually can't even get to wave all the way in, which means, like, you know, I have time to just grab a I'm going AP here, by the way. So I decided this game that I'm just gonna go like Everfrost. I'm gonna go last chapter for mana, and I'm not gonna even interact with him with my Q. So it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need Sunder here, right? Like, you look at this game and you're like, so my bot lane's gonna just carry the game. Like, I don't have to do anything this game besides just like provide maximum utility value for my team. So I can just play the game like by maxing W and E. I don't actually have to put points in Q even. Like, it's kind of irrelevant because I'm already winning top right here, right? Like, I'm winning top, even though it looks kind of A's right here, but it's not even a big deal. Like, I'm up 10 farm here. It's really good. Gotta play off bot. I mean mid. It's really good. Here's where it's a little bit AIDS. He plays it really well where he sits in the bush and he just like runs up on me if I like ever approach. But, you know, I'm just giving him the Wither E treatment. I'm not really doing anything else. There's no other way to really play it than just do this. You know, he plays it really well, obviously, so I have to be constantly very careful of that. I mean, here I'm really just soaking for level 6. I don't really, you know... I actually die here, but I feel like at this timer it's very hard to not die. Like, he's putting me in this position where he can just do that. He's playing it really well, you know, by kind of just like forcing me to zone out. But like this, if you look at the wave state, it's actually not even that bad. Like, we are even right now. Like, we are even right now at worst. Cause like I'm getting to soak all this farm, so it's not like you know I lose, you know, absolutely everything by dying there. It's not a good death if anything, but you know it's not like that big of a deal as well. Because now I can just slow push this, so I mean he's gonna lose a little bit of XP here as well. I'm purely playing for XP here, so he's up a little bit of XP, but we're, you know, after this wave we're about the same. So I'm paying Elise to come top here. Like, at this point bot lane's already won, mid's already won, so he can just come top basically. It's kind of free for jungle to just come top. I mean, this guy has no sums, so he should just die every single time, right? And I have 3 points in E, which means we actually have a lot of damage. I don't actually have to like interact with them with Q or anything. So this is literally Elise's timer to just come top and kill him. because Teemo wants to play aggressive. He's not gonna sit back. So like it's actually really free if he just comes top. And I honestly believe we win 2v2 as well. I mean, Lee is level 6 to be fair, but I mean, I'm really strong. I'm stronger than Teemo in the Yawing. The only reason why you know, the only reason why I can't solo kill him, so he's gonna poke me down. But at full HP, if I ult right away, then I'm much stronger than both of them. That's just how it is. Especially because I'm literally AP right now, so my R and E are gonna do a lot of damage. I'm not really relying on my Q to do anything here. This is kind of what I want. But I mean, in hindsight, I feel like Lee should be top here anyway. Like, this is just bad play by Lee. Like, he should have read this play and then just king top and play for the 2v2. At this point in the game, that's their best bet at winning the game. Like, if he's bot side right now, then, I mean, he's not accomplishing anything. It's not like he can just kill them here or anything. But he's doing full clear Lee, which is, like, really weird. Like, he doesn't really understand. So, it's pretty free for Elise to just come top here and kill him. I mean, he has no flash here. He can't really do anything. And I'm constantly applying ulti damage to him so he doesn't get invis in the bush. And now he's lost a lot right now. He's lost his entire wave pretty much. Teemo's really tilted, as you can see. He's like incredibly tilted. I'm showing this next wave too because I'm 4.E right now, so I have a lot of push power. The best thing about like putting points in E so early on is that you have so much like look at the CS diff now off that gank right here. I'm up like 20 farm against Teemo as Nasus, and this is the best Teemo on the server. So before, when I played this matchup, I always was just down a lot of gold, obviously because I'm stubborn and I max Q and stuff like that. But now we just figure out, you know, this new Everfrost build, which is actually really OP. You know, here we go for the last chapter. And you know, at this point, I can say the game is already pretty much over. You know, I don't really have to do anything here. Kind of just chill. I just play my E at this point. I don't have to worry about anything here. I should step into this room, I think. I forgot. Yeah, I did. A little cringe, but it's all good. Yeah, I mean, he has no flash still, so, you know, I pay him to just gank him. You know, at this point, it's pretty much over for Teemo. I'm just doing a WE on him because I have TP, so I don't really care about taking a bad trade. I can always just like TP back if I need to. He can't really get my plates as well because I instantly shove the wave. I have a lost chapter. It's very safe, very consistent. And now I TP back, and I mean, it's pretty much over here. It's over because he's chunked. He's half HP from, you know, from taking trades, and then he doesn't have TP, so I simply TP back here, and he's basically forced to recall, and I just freeze his next wave, and the game's over. Like, top is over at least. The game is basically won from weak side top, I would say. Obviously, my jungle is also really knowledgeable of the game, but at this point, the game's over. And I think he understands that the game's over as well. Because you can see that I'm just freezing. I'm just freezing the wave, and I mean, it's over. Like, he can't actually find me or anything here. He's just really tilted, I think. Like, he can't really do anything anymore. He's paying the wave, so I mean, it's basically over. Like, Lee Sin is honestly not a very good player. This guy's playing for himself. He doesn't understand the game, but see, this is a problem with like high elo. It's like when you have a jungle that doesn't understand the game versus a jungle that actually understands the game. There is just this fucking, you know, this massive disparity of just helplessness where, you know, one guy actually plays for link state and the other guy doesn't actually understand the game. Like, he's at leasing one trick and this guy's a pro player, so it's definitely not very enjoyable to play challenger games where you kind of have this big of a jungle diff, but you know, still, I mean, I played good. I played good this game. Just imagine if I max Q, right? I'll be putting in such a terrible spot. Yeah, so I'm up gold here, like 1k gold. He can't play the game anymore, so like if he walks back to lane right now, I'm just gonna run him down. He actually just cannot play the game. Like my build, you know, I have no like actual damage build, like AD damage build, but I have a lot of AP, so skills very well with my E and my R, and I literally have 1 point in Q. I don't even care about Q at this point. Like I'm putting points in W, because like Q is my weakest ability. I don't actually need to like even use it this game. I can just literally E and W off repeat in team fights and we just win. Because I just provide so much more. I just provide so much more than Teemo in team fights. So, you know, it's eventually going to get to a point where we 5v5 and then he's just going to be useless because he didn't get a lead early. So, yeah, so the game's just over here. Like, I have a perma freeze. He cannot fight me anymore. I can start farming now if I want to, right? I can start farming right now if I want to. But, you know, I see Teemo bot and I shove, obviously. Like, I shove after seeing Teemo bot because it's not like he can cover the wave. I just get the tower for free, right? I mean, we don't even have to watch the rest of the game. The game's just over at this point. I ult for the tower here. Like, I mean, the game's over. I ult for first tower. Like, they already got tower mid, so it's just over. Can just speed up. I'll show you what I built here. I went for Everfrost, and then I went for Enigma Chings on the ADC, enemy ADC. So I can just wither him. He cannot even play the game. I have 5 points. I have 5 points W, 5 points E. Level 13. I have 1 point in Q. I don't even care about Q at this point. So yeah, I mean the game is just won through bot jungle basically, and I guess weak siding top property, right? I have a dark steel here for a little bit more damage, and I'm going some CDR, some armor, like, you know, just a little bit of everything here. Just play for utility pretty much, and you know, yeah, I mean it's really good. Like, there's nothing wrong with going utility. I think Everfrost is actually really good at TP here, you know, stuff like that. Different map. Yeah, I mean, this game's over though, so I don't have to watch it anymore. So yeah, I mean, that is one example in a bad matchup, and that's kind of like how you should play weak side. You shouldn't do it all the time, right? Obviously, like if you're playing against stuff like Teemo, Cannon, Jace, like ranged champs, you can always go Lost Chapter into like Everfrost and then just go like Frozen Heart, Chains and stuff like that. You can go 5 points W, 5 points E. You don't have to put any points in Q. Especially if you're hard losing lane, like especially if you're hard losing lane, I would say, like if you mess up early or if you got dove like a lot of times or some shit, and you have a really strong bot, don't put points in Q, guys. Just forget about putting points in Q. Like, put some points into your W, put some points into your E, and just like win the game, you know? Like usually I'm E-maxing every game, right? I'm E-maxing every game, but I'm still putting points in Q secondary. But in this scenario, like where I'm not even the win con, like I can just play for utility. It makes no sense for me to have more damage when our team simply don't need more damage, you know? You look at the game that way, it's like, what is Nasus' weakest ability? It's his Q. Does my team need more damage? Do I have to be the carry? If those two things are not needed, then why in hell would you build Sunder? Why the hell would you build Qmax? It doesn't make any sense here. You know, logically it just makes no sense whatsoever. I'll show you guys another example here. I think it's a Pantheon game, maybe, I forgot, but where's Pantheon game? It's a pretty good Pantheon game I had, actually. I think we lost, but it's not a big deal. I just show you guys the laning phase at least. Kind of like how I completely destroyed Pantheon. Yeah, we lost this game, but I show you guys the early game, okay? Show you guys the early game. So I actually much prefer my laner to take Ignite, obviously. Because taking Ignite means that he has a lot more room to play map. Like, I think the hardest Pantheon to deal with would be like someone that takes TP and play like a professional player and play the map instead of playing for solo kill. Because he's never going to solo kill me. If he solo kills me, then that means I messed up, you know? I don't think taking, like in Teemo's case, like Teemo can't really go TP, he kind of have to go Ignite. But with Pantheon, you can go TP and, you know, just play to play for utility and play the map. You don't have to actually play to hard wing lane or anything. And in this case, you know, I don't have to what's it called? But yeah, just getting to it. So obviously again, jungle should pass bot. There's no reason for him to pass top here. I mean, our comp is like not good, but we don't. Let's not focus on our comp. Let's just focus on my matchup here. Like, let's not focus on the comp. Like, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now that we lost this game because our comp sucks. They have like one of the best comps ever. I think this guy is Ebony's C9 mid laner, so I don't know, but you know, we have like Light Rocket playing Taric jungle. This guy's champ is so OP, like he just wings every 5v5 because his champ is Taric, so you press R, you kind of just wing every fight. But our focus here is just strictly laning, because you can wing every game if you just ling well and wing your lane as Nasus. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys here. Obviously, I don't want to go Everfrost here. I don't think Last Chapter is that good into Pantheon. Like, if I play purely utility this game, then we have even less damage to deal with Taric. Like, the problem is that just like if I don't go like a carry build this game, we're not gonna win. Cause I mean, you know, I'm looking at composition here, and it's kind of like up to me to carry this game. If anything, I have to be really fed. So, Elysium here. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not fed enough, but I wasn't fed enough to carry this game, but it's okay. So right off the bat, I can tell you that this Pantheon is not very good, or I shouldn't say not very good. He's not very he's not really paying attention to what he can do and what he can't do. He can actually walk up here and just like deny me the first 3 melees, which he should do, but he didn't do that. So even in like high Grandmaster, this happens quite often where the enemy top just doesn't actually react level 1, so it gives you window to soak XP, which is really good. I'm just soaking XP here. Obviously, I'm putting a lot of respect on the Pantheon here. I know jungle's gonna pass top. Usually, when you play Nasus, you're like a weak side magnet where enemy jungle just kind of wants to mess with you as much as possible early. So you just have to create space for your team to play the game. That's pretty much how I think about it. Obviously, in that case, you have to be full HP. Like, you want to be as safe as possible, right? He actually zones me off a few XP here, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, the wave is still gonna push into me here, and I have TP, so I'm pretty safe. Just gonna speed it up here a little bit. You know, we're just soaking XP here. I'm down some XP, but I think I missed 2 creeps of XP, but it's not even that bad. I pop here at almost full to make sure that I don't get dove. Like, they still might even dive me here, by the way, but I mean, it is a Taric, so it's, you know, it's not like he does a lot of damage or anything. It's gonna be pretty hard for him to dive me, you know. And even if I die, I just TP back. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. So right here, I keep the wave right here. This is a very awkward spot for Pantheon, because it's kind of hard for him to harass me here. Because of how the wave is positioned, it's right outside my turret range. But if he pokes me, then he might take tower damage. So like, it's very bad spot for him. Like, he doesn't want to be in the spot as a top laner, because this is actually his timer to cheat a recall, but he doesn't have that option here just because the wave is in such a bad spot. So he's in a very awkward spot right here with no TP, and he's unable to like cheat a recall. And this is kind of the position I like to put the enemy topping, especially if they have no TP. It's like, this is just gonna win the game for me, basically. It's gonna win top lane for me here from this position forward. Like, the fact that he didn't get a cheater recall here is really bad, just because he's like, he doesn't even have like an HP advantage here. He has a little bit of an XP lead, but that's irrelevant here. So I'm like 1 creep off 4 here. And I know Taric is topside, so I'm just playing safe. Wukong's getting a gank bot. Did he even get this play off? I forgot if he got this play off, but I think it's... Yeah, nice. We got the play off. So now boss winning, and I'm hard winning as well. I think I cheated recall on the Pantheon actually. Like he was just too low to do anything here. Like he couldn't cheat a recall, so now like he's pretty messed up. I'm hitting 5 here in a little bit. And I should 1-for-1 here with him. And now the game is pretty much over for top because first of all I'm playing Nasus. And you know he doesn't want to trade 1-for-1 against me always. Like it doesn't make any sense to trade 1-for-1 with me early, but that's the best he can do there. So he has no ignite, no TP, no TP. He's just gonna walk back to lane, and I'm gonna TP here to shove the wave all the way in. So he misses a little bit more. The problem is like if I could actually choose to walk back to lane here, but like the wave's gonna be in an awkward position, and I'm gonna miss a few creeps if I don't TP here. So you know I just consider going just TPing. Doesn't really matter here, cause like once I hit 6 with this build, it's over. He opted for the Ionian boots too. I don't know why. So it's just like it doesn't make any sense. But I'll just show you guys the next like 5 minutes of how I played basically. I mean I can just constantly pressure him at this point. And here's the thing, so the plant in the river spawns at 6:15, which means like if you have prio in lane, you can actually just take a bad trade and shove him in, and then go and grab the you have first move for plant, which is like very hard winning for you because the plant gives you like a lot of HP, right? It heals you up. That's actually what I do a lot of those games where I just like get prio and then I'm moving to river first to get the plant. And if I eat the plant, then if I get it first, then I'm basically at a huge HP advantage, and it forces them to base or die, pretty much. Because they can't trade against me anymore. So I get 6 here. I shove. So right here, see this. I have first move right here, and he understands that, so he has to move into river too. But like I'll be there first, you know. I will always get there first. So now he can only look at me. I'm gonna take the plan here, right? So that's like a 300 HP advantage I have over him, and like he basically cannot play the game anymore, right? Like it's like really over for him. I think he played it bad though. Like he played the inning phase kind of bad. He played the inning phase really poorly because he actually didn't choose to even he didn't even choose to, what's it called? He didn't choose to ulti back, which is really weird. I think he takes reset here, I forgot. But he takes reset here. No, he ulted mid actually. He ulted mid. So now he has no ult for... Did he ult mid? He ulted mid. He has no ult for lane and he misses his entire wave, right? So I gotta play here as well. Like I don't even have to recall here because my HP is so high, so I just don't, right? Like there's no, I could just take the recall, but if you look at my HP, like I'm very healthy here. There's no reason for me to really recall. I can still fight him off, even at a, you know, at this point, he already bought his item, but it's not very good items. So like, it's not like I lose 1v1 to him. So there's no reason for me to base here. I can just keep pushing until I like run out of resources, which is my mana and HP, right? Especially since my Wukong is top as well. So here I just ping dive. I mean, he just dies here. I mean, we have timer here and he's getting shoved in, so he just dies here. I just tank for them. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, it's a 3-man top. He's not gonna survive that. So, and I take the next cannon wave here and I recall after this. This is a good recall timer for me. And now you can see, I mean, the game is basically, like, it should be hard over for him, right? Like, he doesn't have it. I'm not losing anything here. And he's so behind at this point, in a matchup that he should be winning. Like, if you're playing a late game champ, and you play it this well, you can just shut down, like, early game champs. And, I mean, you just play timers, really. And, like, fundamentally, he's out of the game. He should be. Like, if we lose this game, it's because my team sucks, right? Like, that's just how it is. Like, you've already established that you won top. So like if he, you know, it just, you know, if you're able to just wing and generate map pressure, like it doesn't really matter if my stacks are low. It's not even low, by the way. Like, listen, like 100 stacks at 9 minutes or like 10 minutes, usually if you max Q against Pantheon, you're gonna have this much stacks anyway. But the difference is that you're gonna be shoving and he's gonna have like 3 of your plates or some shit. He's gonna be up a lot of gold on you and XP, you know? So like this not only creates like winning top position in the first 10 minutes, it also literally just gives you the same amount of stacks. So you're pretty much not losing out on anything. You know? And that's honestly because most of the time when you're able to walk up to Q minions, like, you know, you're creating space with your E so you can walk up to Q minions. It's the same idea, same concept as like walking up to Q minions whenever you can if you're Q max, right? Except for that you're not even using your W or E. So like if you're playing the game, you're either playing the game with like all 3 of your abilities or you're playing the game with 1 of your abilities, you know? So like just like figure it out, like which one's better. Like, would you rather lane with only your Q, or would you rather lane with like all 3 of your abilities where you can spam and then like, you know, play for lead? Like, it just doesn't fundamentally make any sense to max Q in this meta. Like, it would make sense if you're never gonna get poke low, and if this like diving top thing doesn't exist, or like, you know, if the weak side concept doesn't exist, but it does exist in the season. So you just have to like be able to play the game instead of playing your one trick, pretty much. That's how I look at the game. I mean, I have a freeze here, right? How does he play, right? This is kind of the same position where the Teemo got put in the last game. It's just like it's game's over. He doesn't get to play anymore. Like if he ever interacts with me, I'm running him over at this point. Like he cannot contest a wave. I'm gonna have XP lead here. I'm just gonna kill him. This spot is where Nasus can just run them down. It doesn't really matter. And you can do it easily too, because you're 4-point E, so it just does even more damage, right? Like, as opposed to if you max Q and W second, it's just like, it's gonna do less damage overall. So you can actually just, in this scenario, have less stacks, but actually do more damage than if you were Q max. Like, if you were Q max, it's like, let's say you got lucky, you know, or you're playing low elo against a low elo Pantheon, and you have like 200 stacks at 10 minutes by Q maxing. And you have a 1-point E though, so like you're really just doing the same amount of damage as if you had like 120 stacks, right? Just because your E is providing you with so much more damage overall. So like your DPS output doesn't even change if you put points in your E. You know, it doesn't even change at this stage of the game. It doesn't. You're doing as much damage as if you had 200 stacks, and you have this much lane pressure and, you know, capability of winning the lane. This is like a low GM Pantheon, so he's not even like a low elo player. He's a pretty high elo player. He's a Pantheon one trick as well. I mean, he cannot play the game anymore. So basically, this just forces him to roam. I actually kind of hate that, just because like, this is completely up to your team, but sometimes your team just ain't when your top laner roams because they can't play the lane, and they actually just win the game off that or some shit. It's kind of cringe, but the thing is, like, if you ever put your laner in this position where they're forced to roam to get kills or roam to play the game, like, they're just flipping the game, and you're actually playing the game properly. So like, in the most consistent way possible, you're a hard winning lane, right? Like, you're trying to play for consistency. So what I'm saying is that, like, if your team ain'ts when he roams, when he shouldn't be able to, like, that's your team's fault. You cannot really do anything about it. You've provided them with the highest chance of winning the game, which is why winning lane is Nasus early game. You know? Like, if he roams and kills my team, then, I mean, my team just sucks. Like, if we lose the game, you shouldn't feel bad about it, because you completely obliterated your laner. So like, if you do this consistently and you grind a few hundred games, you're gonna get high elo no matter what. Cause like, there's gonna be, you know, most times than not, then, you know, your team's gonna play properly. They're not gonna ain't you. So like, his roams are gonna be worthless, and he basically becomes useless. This is the best way you can play the game anyway. Like, it's just how it is. Like, some champs like Pantheon, some champs like Camille, if they fall behind in lane, they can always just go and look for roams mid or bot or some stupid shit. And I mean, I hate them doing that, but that's not really up to you to do anything to. Like you've already provided your team with like maximum chance of winning the game. So, you know, if they're losing, then that's their fault. So he leaves Link here because I mean he cannot play anymore. He's looking for the plant in the river here, but I mean there isn't one, so just speed it up here a little bit. Push a waving, I TP back and I freeze again, and it's just over here. Like, look, I TP back and he's half HP, right? I took bad trade, I'm freezing the wave, it's over. Like, toppling is completely over at this point. If you look at gold, he's down 1.1k gold versus Nasus at 12 minutes in a low challenger game. I mean, the game should be over at this point, but we end up losing the game just because our team kind of sucks, our comp kind of sucks, but this is just kind of what you can do with if you Emax and play wave properly, you know. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the concept with yeah, like that's kind of the weak side concept. You know, it's almost an hour now. Actually, I hope you guys actually learned something off this. What more is there to say? I believe that's all. Yes, that's what I want to show you guys today. You can consistently win lane against almost like most of the champs top if you're just putting a few points in your E. But don't just mindlessly shove your wave, okay? So like you can't just max E and then like spam your E on the wave. That's not how you win. You max E so you can like play the wave state. That's kind of what you want to do. You max E so you can wave clear, not get dove, play wave state and win the games through TP and, you know, TPing properly and stuff like that. You can start scaling after 12 minutes. It won't really matter that much. Usually, if you wing lane this early on, you can kind of just max Q, put a few points in Q later on, and you'll just win the game anyway. Cause like, how toppling works right now is like whoever's more useless kind of just like loses, right? And if they're strong side, then they're also useless and they lose even harder. Cause you know, that's just how it is. So. Do I believe Nasus is good in the current meta? I believe he's actually pretty good if you do this. I believe that Nasus is actually pretty good right now, even though I would say that like most one tricks out there are gonna say that he is literally just in his worst state right now. And I don't disagree with that if you max Q. If you max Q, absolutely. If you max Q, absolutely, you are just gonna lose way more games than you know, just like usually Nasus in plat and above is gonna be like S tier. That's just how it is. Because in lower MMR Nasus is really good, but this patch is actually like B tier, which is pretty insane if you think about it. Just cause like what's it called? So yeah, so some people are like catching up to the build now, so kind of like have a little higher win rate now in Masters Plus. But it's pretty low in GM still. But yeah, I mean overall, like I mean. Like you just have to play it properly, honestly. Like people are not doing it properly. People are just stupid about the game. Like if you look at the games through top lane instead of through Nasus, then you're actually gonna win way more games than you know, than you should. So when it comes to consistency, like obviously, listen, here's the thing. If you get a lucky streak, like you can be in like winner's queue or some stupid shit, like, and you can win a bunch of games by just playing Q max and getting carried. But if we want highest consistency, this playstyle is by far the highest playstyle, highest win rate playstyle. It's just by pivoting into certain builds and being overall smart about the game instead of just doing a very one-dimensional kind of taking a very one-dimensional approach to the game. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys can utilize this information to your games, and yeah, go play some weak side Nasus, guys. You know, honestly, yeah, I mean that's all I really have to say. I don't really have any more content to say. I'm also pretty tired. You know, I usually don't speak for an hour straight, but hope you guys actually learned something from this. And yeah, all right, I will see you guys soon on stream, maybe. We'll see. All right, peace out, and good luck on your grind, guys. Also, one more thing: make sure to like exercise and eat properly and stuff like that. Sleep properly. Don't just mindlessly grind, guys. Like yesterday, I tilted actually, and I lost a lot of LP because I was just running it. I was kind of just not playing well, and I was really tilted because I lost a lot of games. But it's not good, guys. It's not good. You're gonna wake up and regret that. You know. Make sure you're getting food. Make sure you're drinking properly. Like I don't know, hanging out with friends and family once in a while. You should, don't just completely like isolate yourselves and play this game. You need to be like mentally healthy to play this as well, so you can win more games. Have a good mental. All right, peace out. Later, guys. Peace. Good luck in your grind. Good luck.